Hello, movie friends. Welcome back to the show. Anthony here. I'm going to discuss this week's movie news solo today. James is actually currently running a half marathon in Yosemite, so be sure to send him some love on social media. Congratulate him on his impressive and amazing accomplishment. I'm sure he'll really appreciate it. Now, let's get to the news. The box office was insane this week. Doctor Strange came out and just blew the lid off the place. I was expecting this movie to make like 120 million opening weekend domestic, but it made $190 million opening weekend just in America. It just like blew everything out of the water. $36 million on its Thursday preview screenings, and then $90 million on Friday and the rest on Saturday. Just a gigantic success. Really shocking. Even for Marvel, I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. James and I saw the film, and we had a lot of fun. We're going to do a review on Thursday. We want to give everyone time to see the film and get the spoilers out of the way so that we can dissect the film and analyze it. That review is going to be coming out on Thursday, so be sure to tune into that. It'll be a lot of fun. Topping out the rest of the box office is the kids' animated film The Bad Guys, which came in with $19 million. Sonic 2 had $4 million. Everything Everywhere All at Once with $4 million as well. It has grossed $38 million in total, so pretty good total gross for the film. Although it had a $25 million budget plus marketing, that movie needs to make about 50 to 60 to make a profit for the studio, but still one of the highest grossing A24 movies they've ever done. And then finally, Fantastic Beasts finishes out the box office with only $3 million and a $300 million international total, which is very disappointing for the Wizarding World. I'm not sure that Warner Brothers will make another one in this franchise. I liked it. I thought they did a great job, and it was a big improvement from the last Fantastic Beasts movie, but that's not the money they were expecting. That movie cost over $200 million to make, so maybe in the future, Warner Brothers will go to HBO Max making TV shows for the Wizarding World property, because there is still so much wealth of material to mine from. Also, released with the Doctor Strange movie was the Avatar 2 trailer, the upcoming sequel to James Cameron's film. I am so excited to see this film. I did not get to see the trailer. When we saw Doctor Strange, we saw it at IMAX headquarters. Thank you for the invite, IMAX, but they don't play trailers there, so unfortunately we didn't see it. So I can't wait to see it when it either comes online or with the next movie I see, although we do love IMAX, so that was an awesome invite. But reviews and reactions to the trailer say that Avatar 2 looks outstanding, gorgeous. If you saw the trailer, let us know. I'm curious to see what everyone is thinking about the film. James Cameron is the king of sequels, and I have a feeling he's going to blow us away with this new sequel. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing the trailer and the film that comes out in mid-December. Next up, we have some Thor news. So Marvel released an official image of both Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth in their final costumes. Natalie looks awesome. She looks like she put on a ton of muscle too. She's carrying that hammer and she's just like biceps bulging, like, damn girl, legit. And then I love the costume, the Mighty Thor costume. She looks great in the costume. And then I like Hemsworth's costume. It's a lot more colorful than his previous ones, which were just gray and silver plus the red cape. But this costume, the chest piece has a lot of blue and red in it. I like that pop of color. It adds some visual flair to the character. And also, Taika Waititi, the writer and director of the film, is hyping up Christian Bale's character, Gore the God Butcher, as one of the MCU's best villains of all time. I am excited to see Christian in this role. Like you all know, we didn't read comics growing up, so every time there's a new Marvel character, I have to like Google search, who is Gore the God Butcher? And then do some research about the character to prepare for it. The character is really interesting and fascinating background, and Christian Bale is my favorite working actor currently, so I see everything he's in, and I love his work, so I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us, and I think it's smart by Marvel to not reveal Christian Bale's character until probably the final trailer for the film. I'm guessing it'll be like a month before the movie's release. We'll finally see what Christian Bale looks like in action. Now, some Top Gun news. The movie comes out on the 27th of May, and it's my most anticipated of the year. When I saw the trailer last year, it just like stunned me. So I was like, I am so excited to see this movie. It's premiering on the 27th in America, but you can get tickets for the 24th, they made ticket sales in advance. So for the 24th, 25th, 26th, you can see Top Gun 2. We got our tickets for IMAX on the 24th. It's going to be literally the day before we fly to Europe. We're going to see Top Gun. Like we couldn't say no to that. And it was great that they released the tickets early because I was bummed out that we wouldn't be able to see Top Gun until like middle of June. But now I get to see it in May. I'm very excited for that. And they actually premiered the film for the U.S. Navy. They showed the film to a bunch of Navy members on a U.S. carrier ship. And Tom Cruise showed up by flying his helicopter onto the landing pad and just walking off and greeting the crowd like only Tom Cruise can do. That guy is an absolute legend. I love him. Some news to make you feel old today, if you're my age. Spider-Man, the 2002 film, had its 20th year anniversary the other day. It is 20 years old, which I am just like shocked by because I saw that when I was a kid in theaters, and now I'm like, wow, that was 20 years ago. But wow, that's amazing. That was such a great movie. It blew me away when I was a little kid. I was like, wow, I had never seen anything like it before. And you know, it's ironic because Sam Raimi is back with another superhero movie on the week of that anniversary. So kudos to him. Oh, we had some great episodes last week, but I wanted to point out in our Moon Knight episode, we reviewed the finale on Wednesday. And for any of those of you who are confused about our review, what happened was James and I watched the finale, then the credits rolled, and we just turned the TV off, and we're like, okay, let's review it. And we did not watch the post-credit scene initially. And then when we posted the episode, we got a ton of DMs and comments and people saying, did you not watch the post-credit scene? Did you not see the post-credit scene? And I was like, oh my God, we didn't even think that there would be, I don't know why. Maybe because it was early in the morning when we watched it and we just were like, oh cool, it was a great finale, let's go review it. It just didn't even occur to us to hang on for the post-credit scene. And so then I watched the post-credit scene and fixed the review. So for those of you who listened to the review within the hour of its posting, that's why it might have been confusing for you. So James and I are a couple of boneheads. There's some John Wick news. Director Chad Stahelski said that he wants to make 10 John Wick movies in total, and he said that would be awesome. And I'm like, I don't know. I love John Wick, but 10, that's a lot of movies. About like, is there going to be anyone left to kill after 10 movies? Is he just going to murder like everyone? That's a lot. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one, but 10, that's a lot of John Wick movies. We'll see. They keep making money. Next up, Daniel Radcliffe we all know he's playing Weird Al Yankovic, and they dropped the first full-length trailer this week, and he looks great. He's a very talented musical theater guy. He's done a ton of musicals, so we know he can sing and dance and has a lot of personality on stage. So I think it was a really great pick for Weird Al. And Weird Al is also directing the film, and he wrote the screenplay with a co-writer. So I think it's going to be exciting. Looks like a lot of fun, although it is a Roku movie, so I'm not sure if they've even made a good movie before, but we'll see. We'll see. I think I have high hopes for it. Next up, there's some Vin Diesel drama. So he's just fighting with more people. Justin Lin, who's directed a couple of the Fast and the Furious movies so far, he was the director of Fast 10, but he just left the project after a big disagreement with Vin Diesel, and they replaced him with Louis Leterrier. He's made a bunch of like big budget movies like Now You See Me. He did the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. So he has experience with large scale movies, and I'm sure he's a solid choice for, you know, last minute. The gears are rolling. We need to get a director to oversee the shoot. So, I mean, they did a good job replacing him at the last minute. But also, Vin Diesel, I don't know what's going on with that guy. He seems to be very disagreeable. Next up, HBO Max and Warner Brothers have released a BTS video showing the making of the Batman. And it's very cool. It's like 12, 15 minutes long, and you get to see a ton of great behind-the-scenes footage. I love looking at this stuff, seeing how your favorite moments and sequences were created and crafted. Looks like a lot of great practical work, and I love seeing the stunt team, the lighting crew, the entire film crew. It's just really fascinating. The sets, it's a lot of fun. Definitely check that out. Also, there's news for Black Adam that they're doing additional photography, and they posted an image of Dwayne Johnson on set. There's nothing to panic about. Big movies like this, they actually already allot time after their initial shooting schedule. Like, so say like a movie like this, it shoots for like 6 months, and then they already have planned 4 months after that, we're going to do 2 weeks of additional photography. And they do this because they'll make the movie, and then while watching the edit, they'll be like, oh, I wish we got a shot of this, or oh, it'd be super helpful if we had this line in there to really help bring this point home, or maybe it's a little confusing. I wish we had the actor say this instead. So they actually do this as a way to fix the movie, not because it's in trouble, but because they, during production, maybe they missed something or didn't get something that they wish they had. So this is totally normal for a big movie. This does not mean that Warner Brothers is messing up Black Adam. These are things that are scheduled in advance before they even start shooting the movie, having additional photography. So completely standard practice. Next up, Lady Gaga has released a music video for the official song she made for Top Gun Maverick. It's called Hold My Hand, and it's really cool. It's very emotional. It ties to Goose and his death in the original film, which is important because Miles Teller plays his son in the upcoming film. I recommend you check it out. I think Lady Gaga was an excellent choice for Top Gun's official music for making the song, and I'm looking forward to seeing what songs they have picked out for the movie, as well as listening to Hans Zimmer's new score for the film. I cannot wait. The new upcoming film, The Gray Man, released a new image in Empire magazine with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans gracing the cover, just looking like badass, handsome dudes. Chris Evans is rocking that mustache. It looks like a great movie. I'm looking forward to it. Love the Russos, and it has a stacked cast. David Cronenberg's new film, Crimes of the Future, just released a new Red Band trailer, which is even more messed up than the Green Band trailer that was released 2 weeks ago. This movie looks absolutely insane. I love Cronenberg. I love his body horror movies from the 80s and 90s. That guy is a genius. This film is going to be competing at Cannes this year, so it looks like it could be one of his best movies. It looks really terrific. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Next up, Karen Gillan has wrapped filming on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. What's really cool is it looked like they were filming a lot in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. They were shooting on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I saw photos, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Guardians in the city that I live in. Should be a lot of fun. And next up, there's some Will Smith news. Never seems to end. But it's not involving him, but Dave Chappelle was doing stand-up at a theater, and someone ran on stage, tackled him, and tried to stab him, but luckily security got there in time and took the guy off of him, literally like snapped the guy's arm in half. It's great, like his arm was like bent backwards. Absolutely insane. But Chris Rock was backstage watching the show, and he ran on stage after the incident and grabbed the mic, and he was like, "Was that Will Smith?" And the crowd just erupted into laughter. Like, I love Chris Rock. I think he's my favorite stand-up comedian of all time. He's so funny and smart, and like the timing he has is just perfect. Next up, Benedict Cumberbatch has announced that he's going to be taking a break from acting after Doctor Strange 2. I'm sure he's been worn out, not just because of Marvel, but like it seems like in between his Marvel movies, he's got always like a new movie coming out, one or two, like, but between the last Marvel movie he was in and this one, I think the 2 movies came out on Amazon Prime for him. So he's been like turning out a lot of films. So I'm sure that he's probably a little exhausted and wants to slow down and maybe focus on his personal life a little bit more. So, I mean, he earned it. He's earned it. He's done a ton of work over the last 15 years, whether it be his early TV movies to Sherlock to Doctor Strange. So that guy is just a movie-making machine. Next up, there is a new documentary in production for Creedence Clearwater Revival, one of my favorite rock bands of all time. They're amazing. And guess who's narrating it? The one and only Jeff Bridges, which is only fitting because there's so much Creedence in the Big Lebowski, and he even has Creedence tapes in his car when it's stolen, and that's what he tells the officers when they're interviewing him. He's like, they're like, what's in the car? He's like, important documents and important business files, and some Creedence, and it's just so funny. I love it. There was a new trailer for Olivia Wilde's upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, which looks really interesting and really well crafted. I didn't know that Chris Pine is in this film. It looks like he's playing a great villain in the movie, and everyone is obviously freaking out about Florence Pugh and Harry Styles because they seem to have a lot of steamy scenes in the film, and I know everyone's excited to see that. Next up, there's a new film in production for LeBron James depicting his origin story, showing his childhood to superstardom as a basketball player. It's called Shooting Stars, and it's going to be coming out on Peacock next year. And the final bit of news is that Sam Raimi, who's been doing press for the Doctor Strange movie, revealed that his initial plans for Spider-Man 4 would have had Kraven the Hunter, who's being played by Aaron Taylor Johnson right now, as well as Vulture and Mysterio as Spider-Man's villains in the film. Sounds like it could have been really cool. What's really crazy about Spider-Man 4 is that they were actually about to film it. They finished pre-production, and then Sony cut the cord 2 weeks before they were going to start production. So everyone was ready to go. Sam Raimi was ready to go. Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, they were all ready to film, and they were all prepping, and then Sony cut the plug last second because of the poor critical and fan reception to Spider-Man 3, and they decided they wanted to do a reset of the entire franchise. So it's crazy how close that movie came to getting made. Who knows what it would have been different in terms of Spider-Man going forward, because I know Sony initially planned to have 6 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi. So that obviously never happened. So maybe things would have looked differently in terms of the MCU. Maybe Tom Holland never would have been cast as Spider-Man. Maybe Sony never would have began collaborating with Marvel. Who knows? So, I mean, it's fun to look back and think that, maybe a lot would have changed had they made Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6. Who knows? Fun to talk about, though. All right, that's it for this week's movie news. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We had a great week before. We did Seven. We did a Nick Cage actor spotlight, a Moon Knight finale review, and yesterday was our weekly chat, which was a lot of fun. We talked about how I almost got into a fight at the gym reluctantly, and how we talked about how James and I like to save money and how we save money efficiently, plus a bunch of other great topics. It was a fun chat. And then this upcoming week is going to be slated with some awesome episodes. Like I said, Doctor Strange, our official review, comes out on Thursday. And then on Monday, we have a very special Mother's Day episode featuring, as a guest, our mom, Janice. It's a lot of fun. It was a great episode. I think y'all are going to really love hearing about how it was raising 6 boys and little baby twins, and learning what James and I were like as little kids. It was a really fun chat. And if you want to support our show, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you watch or listen to podcasts. You can find us. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, you know the deal. As well as, if you'd like to, feel free to join our Patreon. We have a ton of great perks for different tiers, and one of my favorite perks is top tier patrons get access to our Discord, in which we have over 100 members now, and it's this amazing film community. We're always chatting in these cool comment threads, and we're streaming stuff like movies, video games. We'll randomly just play Jackbox TV. It's a lot of fun, and we're really developing a great group of people who just love to nerd out on movies, and I love how everyone's just becoming friends. It's so much fun. So feel free to join that if you'd like to. And again, thank you for listening to our show and being fans of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode and have a great rest of the week. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in to Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Find us on all audio streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to check out one of these other videos right here for more content on our favorite films and breaking down all kinds of movie content. Thanks so much.